brought to you by Taco Bell. 2 All-Stars with the Lakers, not only Kobe Bryant, but Pau Gasol. Ron Artest playing better. Derek Fisher and Andrew Bynum rounded out for Phil Jackson. And for the Boston Celtics, 3 All-Stars. Garnett's a starter, Pierce a reserve, and Rajon Rondo just named to his first All-Star team with Ray Allen and Kendrick Perkins. Same starting 5 for the last 3 seasons for head coach Doc Rivers. As we're set to go and watch the last 2 NBA champions. The Lakers won it 2009, the Celtics in 2008. Both feel that 2010 will be yet another championship year. Well, you still got a long ways to go. Boston right now. As a reminder, Spanish language version of today's game presented by ESPN Deportes. Use the SAP button on your television. Celtics right now are struggling. They're 2-5 in their last 7, and already Paul Pierce and Ron Artest exchanging words, and Bennett Salvador has to get in between, as is Mark Davis.
See, and I really think that the Celtics, to win it, have to get back to a nastier disposition. 2 years ago when they won it, they had Posey, they had P.J. Brown, they had a greater edge to them. To beat the Lakers, you have to make it a street fight.
They're just 6-10 in their last 16 games, and they've already lost 7 games at home this year. Last season, they lost 6 total here at the TD Garden. Pierce is guarding Artest, and Pierce called for a foul. We'll see if they call it something like that throughout.
Well, I like the edge that the Celtics are starting the game with. You're not going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers in a finesse match. Doc Rivers understands that. The Lakers understand it. More importantly, the Celtics do. It's got to be a physical game.
And it's a foul on Kendrick Perkins before the inbound. Now, this was before the opening tip. And now we just have this Perkins is trying to defend down on the low post to foul before the ball is inbounded. So even though it's not the penalty, Bynum goes and shoots 2.
No, and in defense, coach, this is one of the reasons why the Lakers upgraded as far as Trevor Reeves and Ron Artest to bring that physical force type of energy to the game. But if you're Ron Artest, you have to play with force, but also under control.
Right, and I think the biggest thing missing from Artest's game this year for me is on the defensive side. Offensively, he gets sporadic opportunities. He's more of a spot-up shooter, but it's his defense, to me, that has taken a little bit of a back seat.
He's even admitted that he's got to go back to what he was as Ray Allen, quick catch and shoot, knocks down his first. Celtics coming off a couple of very difficult road losses to Orlando and to Atlanta. In fact, the Atlanta Hawks completed a 4-game season sweep of the Celtics. With the crowd fired up early on. Artest. Ray Allen on Bryant. They've been guarding each other for a lot of years. Nice pass inside from Gasol. And Bynum can't get it to go. Second effort won't go. Perkins the rebound. We've had a lot of whistles early on. Doc Rivers yelling at Mark Davis as Garnett took a tumble as he got bumped.
That's nothing to me. Artest is standing there. Garnett's running the floor. That's not a foul.
And again, you wonder, especially with the 2 of them drawing away each other to start, are they going to call it tight like this? Hopefully not. They'll let them play a little bit.
And they have Kobe Bryant guarding Rondo, either trying to preserve his energy or make him a roamer defensively and trying to help.
Rondo, of course, just named to his first All-Star team. He has had a superb season. Garnett, his shot with 2 on the shot clock. Gasol the rebound. And Bryant will bring it up. He's got a new splint on that broken finger. Says it's been made it much easier as Artest rattles in a 3. Artest coming off a good game in their last win against Philadelphia. He had 18. This is the 7th game of an 8-game, 13-day road trip. Lakers have been on the road a long time. It's the Grammy trip that they have every year. Because the Grammy Awards at the Staples Center. Rondo puts it in.
No, this isn't a new defense that Rondo's taking a look at. Kobe Bryant defended him a lot during the finals. He roamed, and if you're Rondo, you have to be willing to take shots and make Bryant pay the price for roaming.
Gasol and Garnett. Shot clock down to 7. Bynum. Bryant double. Pass deflected by Garnett. Here comes Rondo. Side steps, gets it out to Garnett. Rifle pass stolen by Artest.
I like how Artest has started this game. He's been aggressive. He got himself into the post once. He's deflected a couple plays, and a good entry pass right there to Bynum.
Well, let them play down low. And they call a hell ball. Good battle as Garnett is able to hold on. Let's check in for the first time with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Michael. Jeff touched in the open about the problematic right index finger for Kobe Bryant. Well, he's also battling a tweaked ankle that he suffered Friday night in Philadelphia. So affected was he by it that Phil Jackson said about an hour before the game that in practice yesterday, he was very limited in terms of what he could do physically. He finished it by saying, this could be a problem. We'll see how it plays for the rest of the day, Mike.
All right, Doris. I'm not going to try and make him into any kind of heroic figure, but his injuries that he plays with, a lot of guys sit down there.
I talked to assistant coach Brian Shaw for the Lakers. He said he's been around the game a long time. He said, I've never seen anything like this guy. His ability to tell his body exactly what he wants and fight against pain is something that he hadn't seen before in his entire career.
With the different injuries, again, his finger, he says, will not sit down, wants to go and play all 82, which he's done the past several seasons.
Well, it's interesting. We now make a big deal out of guys playing 82 games when it used to be more normal. When guys used to be expected to come to work every day. The guy to my right did it 9 out of 17 years. He played 82 games. One year he played 83 games. He did overtime.
I like that. You're doing your homework.
Oh, you know, preparation is my middle name. No, but I'm serious. The idea, some people have the idea where you're supposed to pace guys. This is where I don't think Phil Jackson gets enough credit. He's pushing Kobe Bryant to play 82. He wants him to play 82 games. You know, you have all this zen, which it's really good stuff for him. But it's also, he has a toughness factor to him, too, where he tries to push guys physically to their limits.
And also remember back then, it was like, all right, throw some ice on it, you'll feel better. Now they have all sorts of treatment, all sorts of specialists.
Every time you add another trainer, your injuries go up exponentially.
Bryant backing down Ray Allen.
My college coach had the theory that never have a trainer on the floor because everybody would get hurt and go over to him. You had to go walk down to the stairs.
And your college coach's name was?
Well, I had many. I went to so many darn schools. But Bill Nelson. But now for college, man, we didn't even have the money for a trainer. We had vans to games.
Tony Allen with 3 on the shot clock. Gets to the rim and floats it in. Allen quickly off the bench as Pierce had picked up those 2 quick fouls. Allen has had his share of injuries last couple of years. Celtics still without a key guy of their rotation, Marquise Daniels, who may be back by the All-Star break. Bynum lost it out of bounds, deflected by Boston.
You know, and Doc Rivers talked about there's going to be a point in this game when they're going to double team Kobe Bryant and get the ball out of his hands. This is unfair to Ray Allen, dribbling it 5 times, able to get to his spot and knock down a shot. There's going to be a point where they're going to force Bryant to make a play for somebody else.
And a foul call on Artest, so Artest has 2 and Pierce has 2. And Doc Rivers up and talking. You know, you mentioned it earlier, Mark. Even though this team is going through some struggles right now, he still feels because of the veterans, and once Pierce gets fully healthy, once Garnett gets fully healthy, that they'll be fine. The question is, how far back can Garnett get to be the way he was before the injury? Is that possible?
It's certainly possible, but I think it's the wild card because no one knows. But the way to find out is to get him game experience, and that's what Doc Rivers is doing. He's sacrificing wins at times by keeping Garnett and Pierce on the floor.
Ray Allen able to put it in. Now, Allen did not make the All-Star team this year, but he said before the game he was so psyched for Rajon Rondo. He says he's like a little brother. He loves the way how the kid has worked so hard to get there. He won't mind having a little vacation time with his family. Sasha Vujacic in for the Lakers. Vujacic off balance. Bynum, there's the length of the Lakers.
And we are watching today Kendrick Perkins and Andrew Bynum, 2 of the most underrated players in the game. Both guys, in my opinion, have a legitimate beef when they don't make the All-Star team.
Perkins could be certainly one of the top 3 defensive centers in the NBA. And he's been a good, solid offensive player. In fact, leads the NBA in field goal percentage. That shot blocked by Bynum. Nice timing. Bryant on the pull-up, puts it in again. He's got a little bit of a limp as he goes back down the court.
The thing about Bryant guarding Rondo on one end, it's a cross match in transition, so that time Rondo had to pick him up, and Bryant was able to easily shoot over the smaller Rondo.
Nice move from Garnett. Kevin Garnett missed the 11 games with that hyperextended knee. Of course, had the surgery last year. They're 5-6 without him. It goes without saying just how important is he for this team and their title chances. Fisher draws the foul on Allen. And he'll go to the line for 2. His foot is on the line as Tony Allen picks up his first.
That's his first personal 3rd team foul.
Let's watch the way he lands. Again, the ankle, the leg, the finger. He's had some back spasms.
The interesting thing on that replay is to take the pressure away from the left ankle. He lands strictly on the right foot. I mean, how many guys are able to talk about the adjustment he made in shooting the basketball with the finger problems, and here he's making another adjustment because of the ankle.
And that's why we're going to let him get away with a carry, because he's so banged up. We're not going to call the carry on him.
It's the second free throw.
It's a trade-off.
Good spot, Coach.
That's probably the first time you've ever included yourself in the referee fraternity. You said we're not going to call a carry?
I refereed the other day, as a matter of fact. So
moving screen on Perkins. That's his second. So foul trouble for some key guys for both teams. A lot of whistles early because we've had a chippy start even before the opening tip. Perkins has 2. Pierce has 2. Artest has 2. Lakers by 3.
And as far as the reserves, I think Shaquille O'Neal, I think there should be a second player from Cleveland. I wasn't sold that that move was a good move, but I think he's given them a physical toughness, a way to get people into the penalty. It's a difficult matchup for the teams like Atlanta, Orlando, and Boston. I think it's a good move. I think he should have been there.
Cavs with the best record in the NBA, but only 1 All-Star. Last year, of course, Mo Williams made it. Rondo pulls up for the jumper, way off the mark. And Bynum, who's been active early, grabs that.
And I think also Jamal Crawford should have gotten heavy consideration. He's had a heck of a year.
Crawford right now the leading contender for 6th man. He has been just superb. He helped them beat the Celtics the other day in his first year with the Hawks. Bryant again. We talk so much about the finger. He's 3 for 3 from the field. And it's an 8-point lead for the Lakers.
Well, you can't play better D than Tony Allen just did. Extended him, denied, and then contested. Just better offense by Bryant.
Another turnover. That's already number 5 for the Celtics. It's a problem for them. Gasol gets hit and a foul. And just like that, a 13-2 run for LA. They're up by double figures.
Well, to me, the Celtics have 2 issues besides health. The first one is turnovers. They're a very high turnover team. Lakers, very good finish in transition. Good solid play by Fisher. Gasol's got great hands, great speed, terrific finish. And then the second problem they have is they're at a negative rebounding differential. They have dropped from being a very good rebounding team to a very below average rebounding team, and that's very critical.
Doc Rivers said that was his #1 concern. The other one, he said, was a sense of urgency. He feels that this team is waiting a little bit and needs to gear it up. They're not right now a 48-minute team. Eddie House off the bench. Won't go. Ray Allen the long rebound.
You know, that sense of urgency is a big problem because you're talking about a team that's been successful. The problem could be waiting on things to turn around instead of forcing things to turn around by your energy and effort and passion.
Bryant inside to Bynum, and Bynum able to finish. How about Bynum start? 8 points, 3 boards, and a block shot.
And his problem has been only when he's played with Gasol. When Gasol's been out, he's been a dominant player. It's been staying involved even when Gasol is healthy and playing.
Nice move from Kevin Garnett. Wanted a foul. It's Garnett's second field goal. Garnett's all-star selection, number 13 for him. And he continues to come back from that right knee problem. Wallace poked it away. Here's Tony Allen. Lost the handle, got it back, lost it again. 6 turnovers for the Celtics. They're 5th worst in the NBA at turning the ball over. They do it at 15.5 per game.
And that play Rasheed Wallace made to deflect the entry pass is the exact problem he gave Orlando trouble with getting the ball to Dwight Howard earlier in the week. He was a tremendous matchup problem for Howard, just catching the ball in the entry.
Bryant to Gasol. Shot clock down to 7. Gasol with the left hand flips it up. Soft touch. Lakers have made their last 7 shots from the field. Now we have a foul away from the ball. Wallace and Gasol are going to get technicals. Now they go face to face. Very chippy start here.
Yeah, but I like that by Pau Gasol. Understand what the scout report says. You're going to be tried and tested. When that moment occurs, then you respond because you're being watched. So the Boston Celtics are doing their job. The history on Gasol is he's soft. So try to bang him up and beat him up. But you have got to respond to give your team a chance to win a ball game.
Now the personal foul was on Gasol, and then double technicals on Gasol and Rasheed Wallace.
Now the interesting thing is you don't just respond off of making a basket. Have the same type of body language when things aren't going well and you're tested.
Garnett calling for it. On the pull-up, Kevin Garnett. 3 for 4 from the field for Garnett. Lakers lead cut to 10. Lakers, one of the better defensive teams this year, as Bynum throws it down, and Bynum has come to play here in the opening period.
Well, Garnett was talking the whole way down the court after he scored against Bynum, and that's the way you respond.
10 points already for Andrew Bynum. About the Celtics, they're shooting 58% from the field. They're down 26-14. It's because the turnovers are killing them. Allen for 3. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Hot shooting by the Lakers right now. Allen all over Fisher. Trying to tip the ball around and throws it away. Fisher thought he got bumped. Good defense from Ray Allen. Tony Allen to Ray Allen. That's a 3.
They haven't shot the 3 as well this year as they have in previous years, Ray Allen included.
And a timeout call by the Lakers, who have made their last 8 shots from the field.
And it's a beautiful thing. You talk about the question marks. Well, the guys have not only shown up, but they're also showing out early in this ball game. Pau Gasol running the floor. The beautiful drop-off pass by Derek Fisher gets the basket and the foul. And then Kobe Bryant knocking down shots early. Lakers on a 19-6 run.
Superb start for the Lakers, a 12-point lead. This again the 7th game of an 8-game road trip, and so far they're 4-2 on the trip. Tough loss in Cleveland. They wanted that one. Then they beat the Knicks. A last-second loss to the Raptors, and then victories over Washington, Indiana, and Philadelphia. And while they were in Washington, D.C., a special day as the 2009 NBA champions got to meet President Obama. Long ceremony. A lot of not only the players, but front office people and family got there, presenting him with the jersey and the ball. He is a huge basketball fan. He didn't need cue cards to talk about different players. Wished Shannon Brown good luck in the dunk contest. Congratulated Phil Jackson on the 10th. And had a little extra time with Kobe Bryant as we check in with Doris.
Yes, Kobe was in fact invited back the next day along with his wife and daughters. His 8-year-old daughter Natalia, shortly after being introduced to Mr. President, said, "Mr. President, I'm in the middle of a cookie drive. Would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies?" He said absolutely. Actually wrote down 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue on her form as Tony Allen gets a nice strip and dunk. No sooner than the vice president walks in, Mike, and she says to him, Mr. Vice President, how nice to meet you. Would you like to buy a couple? And all 4 of us have daughters, gentlemen. You got to love the confidence.
A girl.
Hey, Girl Scouts, they're tenacious with their selling.
I don't know if that was a pass. They say the ball was above the cylinder when Odom put it in. Hey, would you like to see them change that rule? It wouldn't have applied there, but the European rule is once the ball hits the rim, even if it's above the cylinder, it's anybody's ball.
I like the rule the way it is.
I'm not sure it was even goaltending.
I don't think it was.
That's pretty close.
I think there has to be some technical thing you can do there, too.
Allen misses. What do you mean technical?
You know, like technology, so you know if it's above the cylinder. I mean, everything's technology.
Bynum foul on the entry pass. Glenn Davis has just checked in, and he quickly picks up his first.
That's his first personal.
You know, I'm not calling him Glenn anymore. He doesn't want to be called Big Baby. I'm not calling him Glenn. I'm calling him by his first name, Ronald. Ronald Davis.
You can't just call somebody what you want to call.
It's his name. If you don't want to go with a nickname, then we're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt with the middle name. We're going with Ronald.
Well, for those who don't know, his name since he's played at LSU has been Big Baby. He doesn't like the name. He's had a couple of incidents this year, including getting into a fight with a friend that broke a thumb, so he had to miss a lot of games. Then he got fined $25 grand for cursing at a fan in Detroit, and he said he wants to kind of change, turn it around, and one of the names he had was Uno Uno.
No, I'm not going with Uno Uno.
No.
When you're making up your own name, unless you're O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal, it usually doesn't come off very well. You can't name yourself.
I'll take the 2 U's out and say no.
I like that.
And a defensive 3 seconds called on Uno Uno. So a technical foul. Excuse me, it's against the Lakers. I'm looking at him here. He looked like he was disappointed at the call. He was going to get a foul call on him. But what they need from him, regardless of his name, is to play like he did in the playoffs last year.
You know, he's a good player. He's a good, solid player. A great second-round pick by Danny Ainge. He can shoot. He's got quick feet. Now, one thing he doesn't do, he doesn't elevate and finish great oversized inside, but he's got a nice game to him, and eventually he could be a starting player in this league.
Oh, Farmar saw that one coming. Another turnover for the Boston Celtics. 7 turnovers here in the first quarter.
That's a great reaction by Jordan Farmar. Rotating, active hands, and uncontested lane.
The Laker bench has been playing better, says Phil Jackson, since he shortened his rotation. Jackson has always played a lot of guys, not lately. Allen gets to the basket. Nice move from Tony Allen, and the Celtics need that. Final seconds of the first quarter. Shot clock is off. Bryant looks up. Good defense from Rasheed Wallace. And that will end the opening period. Lakers shoot 61% from the field and force 7 turnovers. Kobe Bryant was hot early, knocking down his shots. And Andrew Bynum also coming out with a force. Bynum with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and a block, and an emphatic dunk.
We got off to start right away. They came out to play a very physical game. It cost them a couple points. They were trying to establish something. I think it kind of took the game out of rhythm a little bit for them. Now they're back. Looks like they're back in rhythm again.
Andrew Bynum off to a good start. How?
Yeah, he did okay.
Don't want to elaborate. Thanks, Coach. Mike.
Well, Phil Jackson obviously reluctant to give Andrew Bynum his praise, but 12 points, 4 rebounds, a block shot. This guy is a very good player who at times has limited offensive opportunities because of the greatness of Bryant and the greatness of Pau Gasol. But Andrew Bynum is a top-flight NBA center.
And unless they change the rule, he will always be the youngest player to ever play in an NBA game, right from high school in New Jersey. And he's still, now in his 5th year, only 22 years old. And a couple of his years, because of the knee injuries, have been half seasons. His name has been mentioned in trade rumors. Lakers have denied it. It was that Chris Bosh Bynum one ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Lakers. This is a special young player at his size.
Oh, he's a top-notch center. Come on, coach. A little bit of love is all it takes sometimes. The guy is working his tail off to set the tone for the first quarter.
All coaches have people that they're very reluctant to praise and who they go overboard to praise.
And why is that?
I'm not sure. It just works that way. Some guys are real sensitive, and you need to always build them up. Other guys maybe don't react as well to praise as the Lakers turn the ball over.
Shannon Brown touched it last.
I was wondering, that's similar to Mike. He always shows you love and then never tells me I do a good job.
I'm a sensitive type.
Great point, Jeff. Rondo gets inside, finds Tony Allen. How about Tony Allen off the bench with Pierce's foul problems? He's got 8 points in 10 minutes. And a good start here to begin the second for the Celtics. Now, the Celtics defense is still one of the top-ranked defenses in the NBA for the last several years. Since Garnett's been here, is far more a nice shot. They've been perhaps the best. Is their defense as good as it's been? Where's it at, guys?
Well, field goal percentage-wise, Cleveland's the best in the league. But points per possession, which is the best true measure, as Rondo lays it in and is blowing by Shannon Brown the last 2 possessions. But the Celtic defense per point per possession is the best in the league.
And to me, I would disagree with it being as good as it was. They had an outstanding defense, and coach would tell you the last line of your defense is securing the basketball. This is a poor rebounding basketball team. They give up too many second shot opportunities. Therefore, they're no longer the same superior defensive team.
Rondo hits the free throw. What a season it's been for Rondo. Again, the first All-Star appearance. #1 in steals, #3 in assists. He leads all guards in field goal percentage. Wallace went for the steal and got burned. Pau Gasol now with 6 points. Rondo kicks it out, wide open Allen. Allen gets inside again, left-handed, just can't get it to go. Almost got it back. He does get it back and throws it off Walton. Superb hustle from Tony Allen.
Give Tony Allen a lot of credit. He's giving them a lot of energy off of that bench. Offensively looking to score, pursuing the basketball, the hustle play, and throwing it off the body of Luke Walton. Outstanding job by Allen.
Allen's had all sorts of injuries last couple of years. And if they need him here this afternoon with Pierce in foul trouble, Rasheed Wallace can't hit the 3, and Shannon Brown the rebound.
I mentioned Tony Allen was a great dodgeball player growing up. He threw that thing off Luke Walton's back with such force
and accuracy. Gasol lost it. Celtics have numbers. Allen filling the lane. And Glenn Davis gets fouled as he grabs the offensive board. Celtics a little more aggressive here to start the second.
That's good defense by Rasheed Wallace on the other end. An underrated post defender. Attacks the body of Gasol and then pulls the chair. Just a good read defense.
And I also didn't like how Jordan Farmar spaced the floor. He kept his man right in front of Gasol, easy to help and give the look of a crowded floor.
Rondo, nice fake, gets inside, count it, and a foul. He duped the Lakers on that one, and Rondo with a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, Rondo does a great job with the hesitation dribble here to freeze the help, looks off Luke Walton, and then gets all the way to the rim. If you're Luke Walton guarding Tony Allen, you have to stay in that help position and make him kick it out to the limited range shooting Allen.
See Rondo's numbers to start.
The Lakers have to make an adjustment defensively. There are certain things that you have to be willing to give up, and then certain things you can't. Rondo to the rim is inexcusable.
Gasol gets past and gets hammered. Good aggressive move from Pau Gasol. And he will shoot 2. Rasheed Wallace picks up his second. Right now a 5-point Laker lead. Opening minutes here of the second quarter at the TD Garden. First meeting of the season between the Lakers and the Celtics. Gasol getting his 3rd All-Star berth earlier this week. He hits the first. Coming up at halftime, Stuart Scott, Michael Wilbon, John Barry will have the T-Mobile halftime show. First half recap. Also our NBA calendar. Phoenix at New Orleans on Monday, 8 Eastern. And then ESPN next Wednesday. Miami at Boston, Phoenix at Denver. And then on TNT Thursday, Miami at Cleveland, San Antonio at Portland. A lot of big games coming up as we go toward the All-Star break. Rondo, a whistle before, a foul on Walton. And that's 3 on Walton already. Team not in the penalty, but we'll take a timeout.
Lakers trying to establish a rhythm, trying to find themselves. Well, two guys that certainly help. Tony Allen pursuing the basketball, the hustle plays, and then Rajon Rondo, the all-star, getting to the cup time and time again. Lakers up 6.
Back in Boston, where the Celtics down by 13 at one point, within 6, with 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Moments ago, Doc Rivers not happy with his team's lack of taking care of the ball.
7 turnovers. Come on, guys. We got to take care of that ball. We're making cross-court passes all game. That's the 4th cross-court pass turnover we have. All 4 have led to baskets.
Doc Rivers saying you got to take care of the basketball. It's a recipe for disaster, turning it over. Ray Allen dribble penetration, looking for Rasheed Wallace, throws across his body. Jordan Farmer reads the play, intercepts the pass. That looked like Brett Favre. You're not the Minnesota Vikings, Ray Allen. What are you doing?
Wow, way to just throw salt on the wounds of the Minnesota Vikings fans. But, Mike, you talked about the Pro Bowl earlier. You were talking about that?
Correct.
Fans out there have the chance to see tonight one of the hidden gems in the NFL, one of the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL, and Matt Schaub. Houston Texans. Threw over 4,400 yards this year. Unbelievable. Great year, Matt.
Davis inside. You have a non-basketball agenda every game. You've got these 3 non-basketball facts you have to get in. We'll look forward to watching him.
I'm speechless, man. This guy here.
Well, the Celtics on the comeback trail here in the second. They're now within 4. Lamar Odom gets it to go. A 3-pointer for Odom.
Think about the luxury, if you're a coach, having him come off your bench. Handles, rebounds, can post, and at times can be a streaky range shooter.
And I will say this about Lamar. If he played 40 minutes a night, if you played him like a starter, he would lead the league in rebounding.
Defensive 3 seconds. He's 12th in rebounding coming off the bench. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, he's a great rebounder, but he's already played 40 minutes in his life, and he has never led the league in rebounding.
And I never made that statement until now.
Well, you can't wait till... What are you talking about?
He's a great rebounder.
I agree with that.
If he played starters minutes, he would lead the league in rebounding. You talk about 9.9 rebounds per game coming off the bench.
I agree.
He plays 31 minutes a game.
I didn't say if he played 31 minutes. I said if he played 40 minutes a night.
He's not catching Dwight Howard on the rebound. Just say I was wrong.
No.
I overstated the facts. He would not catch Dwight Howard.
I'm not going to say I was wrong. I truly believe that.
Believe me, I know you don't say you're wrong. I coached you.
Rondo with Bryant on him. Kicks it out, Tony Allen. Allen on the pull-up. Knocks it down again. Tony Allen, 5 of 8 from the field. The guy that missed 20 games earlier this season with an ankle injury. He's had knee problems. But filling an important role here this afternoon in the first half. Nice fake Gasol. How many 7-footers can do that?
That's a big-time play. A big-time play by Pau Gasol.
Lakers, meanwhile, they're shooting 68% from the field, and they only lead by 6. They've turned it over 7 times as well. Rondo looking. Wallace the extra pass. Tony Allen. That's a 2-pointer. Tony Allen, the game's leading scorer here in the first half.
And I like the extra pass by Rasheed Wallace. Rather than jacking up another 3, find the hot hand.
And that hot hand has been the reserve, Tony Allen. 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Artest bullies his way in, can't get it to go. Davis lost it, and Lakers ball. I don't know if he got possession. Right now there's 7 on the shot clock.
This is an oh my move. At the three-point line, 2 dribbles off a fake dribble hand or off a handoff. That's just skill personified.
But here's my problem. That's why the Celtic defense is nowhere near what it once was. There were a time in the past 2 guys would be in help position getting offensive foul.
Bryant, tough shot, won't go. Oldham nearly tips it in, knocked out of bounds, and a 24-second violation. If you talk to some of the Celtics, they feel that they've always been a great team defensive schemes in the way they've worked, but they're not guarding off the dribble as well individually. That's what most of the complaints are.
Well, Coach, you know great defenses, and it starts with I got your back. In that situation, there's breakdowns, but who's going to help their buddy? And no longer do we see that with the Celtics.
Well, certainly when they had Posey, P.J. Brown, and Garnett at full health, they had incredible quickness, size, and toughness. And I think the toughness issue still has to be answered.
Rondo off the miss. Kicks out Pierce. Pierce for 3. An air ball. Knocked away and stolen by Rondo. Oh, the fake shot goes down. Ready play from Rondo, and the Celtics within 2. Number 1 in the NBA in steals. That was a beauty. Bryant. A little fake. Can't get it to go, though. And Perkins takes it away from Pierce. Rondo has Oldham on him. Rondo to Perkins, the finish. Celtics will come back to tie it up. And a standing ovation here at the TD Garden. They were down by 13 in the first quarter. Allen guarding Bryant. Bryant to the rim. Blocked by Allen. Here comes Rondo. Rondo blows past Fisher. Inside Davis. Blocked by Artest. And Davis gets it back. And it calls a timeout. Doc Rivers wants a full timeout. Rajon Rondo making things happen out there. The all-star point guard for the Celtics.
How about Doc Rivers looks at his point guard and says, help me, Rondo. He certainly steps up and does that defensively with the active hands. Oh, skip to my loop, fake behind the back pass, and then pick and roll offense. Forces the help, finds an uncontested Perkins underneath. Rondo putting on a clinic.
Help me, Rondo. Skating in the Boston Commons at the Frog Pond skating rink. The Lakers and Celtics all tied at 40. Second quarter here in frigid Boston. Second quarter has been great for the Celtics, and of course this is one of the great rivalries in all of sports, certainly the most storied rivalry in the history of the NBA. Celtics right now leading in the most important numbers, 17 championships to 15 for the Lakers. They've each won the last 2. Lakers last year, Celtics in 2008. And perhaps they'll meet again, although certain other teams will have a lot to say about that. Meanwhile, Paul Pierce has not scored a point, 2 fouls, and his team has battled back from 13 down to tie it. Tony Allen off the bench. Just terrific play here in the first half. Rondo looking, shot clock at 4. Pierce lines it up, nails a 3. He's actually number 1 in the NBA right now in 3-point field goal percentage.
And Rondo's pick and roll is crushing the Lakers right now. He's hesitating. He's doing a great job holding his dribble to draw the second defender. As every team tries to play him the same way, sagging off, he's doing a good job in bringing that extra defender.
That time Allen fouled Bryant. Bryant will go to the line for the first time today.
Holding his dribble here makes Artest guard Kendrick Perkins, which frees up Paul Pierce for a wide open three-point shot. Really fine plays off the pick and roll right now by Rondo.
And he's got 8 assists, 10 points, 4 of 5 from the field, a couple of steals as well. As again, this is the first free throw attempt for Kobe Bryant. You know you're doing a good defense if he doesn't get to the line. Misses that one. Remind you, be there live for all the action. Go to NBA.com/tickets now to reserve your seats to see your favorite NBA team take the court. The NBA, where memories happen.
What was that chuckle about?
His getup, his gear. Oh, how'd you like to sit next to that guy? He might be pleasant, fun. Shot blocked, but a foul. Rondo once again aggressively going to the basket. He loves the Celtics. You gotta love that.
Does a guy like that come to the game by himself? Because I'm just saying, I'm not going with him.
Is he married, though? Did he leave the house with a wife saying, honey, I'm going to the game?
If you have kids, you can't do that. No, that's a single guy right there with a single ticket.
Rondo hits the first free throw. That's one area for Rondo that he's trying to improve on. He's struggled from the free throw line since he's come into the league, just 58% this season. Always one of the lowest free throw shooters amongst guards and one of the highest field goal percentage shooters amongst guards. This afternoon, he's 3 for 4. And he's got 9 of his 11 points here in the second period. That has been all Celtics.
And he's been the best player on the floor this first half, really dominating on the offensive end.
Under 4 to play, second quarter. Shot clock at 4. Offensive foul. Bryant using that left arm to clear some space. Tony Allen cheering Bennett Salvatore, saying, good call. And it's 1 on Bryant. Didn't look like a lot there.
That's a bad call. Good job by Tony Allen battling and staying in front of Bryant, but that's a bad call.
That's 10 turnovers on the Lakers. How about the Celtics? After 7 in the first quarter, they haven't turned it over in the second. Perkins takes his time, misses, gets it back, goes back up and throws it down. Number 1 in the NBA in field goal percentage because of high percentage shots like that. And Phil Jackson wants time. As the Boston Celtics on a 12-0 run, and they turn a 13-point deficit into a 6-point lead.
How about Perkins missing the first one, but this is a grown man move. Everybody out of my way, attacking the rim. Celtics rolling up 6.
He's seen a lot of guards is that every step of the way in his brief career, he's been questioned. They said, they're not going to win a championship with him as the starting point guard. And then all of a sudden they win the title with him as the starter. And he couldn't be an all-star, but here he is an all-star again as Gasol misses badly. Good defense from the Lakers. Rondo kicks it out. Pierce, that's a 3. Bang! 15 straight points now by the Celtics.
Again, it's Rondo. If this was Steve Nash, we'd be raving about him. Rondo has put on a clinic on running pick and roll and also pushing the ball in transition.
Rondo takes it away from Bynum.
And the Celtic defense has been stifling at the basket.
Pierce with Gasol on him. Crossover move, gets inside. Stripped, lost it. And it's going to be, he says somebody touched it. It's going to be Laker ball, though. What a turnaround here in this second quarter. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Celtics are down 13 and didn't look good as Kobe Bryant comes up short. Garnett lost it out of bounds. The Lakers get a new 24.
To me, that's where Boston has to clear the rebound. Instead of being deflected out of bounds, finish your defense.
Score in the second quarter, 30-10, Celtics. As Bryant gets that to go. 9 points for Kobe Bryant. Bryant has been guarding Rondo much of this first half. Now Artest picks him up on the switch. go. Fisher pushing. Crowd wanted a carry. He just dribbled it high. Rondo with another steal. Finds Pierce. Pierce for three. His third three-pointer. And the Celtics go up by 10. A 23-point turnaround here in the first half. Bryant pulls up. That won't go. Bynum the rebound. Back up, count it, and a foul.
I'm going to tell you what, as a point guard, this is extremely fun to watch. Watching Rondo and what he's doing in this first half is a thing of beauty. Pushing the ball, waiting until Pierce gets to his spot, and then puts the pass on point. Pierce simply get in position, knock down the shot. This is extremely fun to watch.
And people may be asking, well, why is that a good cross-court pass? Because that pass is going to the corner. Even if that's stolen, that's not going to lead to a basket like the Jordan Farmar steal did earlier in the game.
That alley-oop just grazed the rim. A rare mistake from Rondo. It's his first turnover. Fisher fires away. That's a three from Fisher. Lakers with a couple of buckets, and it's back to 5. Here on our NBA Sunday Showcase. Second game of our doubleheader. Don't forget the T-Mobile halftime show's coming up. Rondo kicks it out to Tony Allen. One of the highlights from our first game, Nuggets and the Spurs, a Phil Jackson interview with Magic Johnson. And a recap of this first half. Shot clock on 1, Rondo.
Not sure you have to put the Johnson at the end of Magic.
I think you're right. Good point. We always get some new fans every week. Bryant falling away. Tough shot. Air ball. Perkins the rebound, and that will end the second quarter. And what a second quarter for the Celtics. Kobe Bryant, the Lakers jumped out early as they led 30-19 after the first quarter. And the Celtics were turning it over at a rapid pace. 7 turnovers in the opening period. The second quarter was a complete turnaround. There's Brian Doris, who hit his first 3 shots from the field. You know, we mentioned Tony Allen off the bench. Played very, very well, scored 12 points. He played some good defense on Kobe Bryant as well.
Well, made him work on both ends of the floor, not only offensively by being aggressive, but also defensively, contesting, denying, forcing them into toughness.
Neither team will be happy with the opponent's field goal percentage, as we showed you, both over 50%. These are 2 of the best defenses in the league. Garnett. And Bynum able to grab the board. Lakers, after this game, their last game of this long road trip is in Memphis against the surprising Grizzlies. Pau Gasol gets to play against his brother Mark, who they were traded for each other in that deal. What a difference that has made for the Lakers. Bynum. Garnett the rebound. Rebounding numbers been pretty even most of the game. Rondo flips it up and in. 13 for Rondo. He was practicing that floater over and over again in warm-ups today. Just standing there, throwing it up from about that distance. That's not an easy shot, is it, Mark?
That's a tough shot. It takes a lot of time to try to master that through repetition and imagining guys defending you. Just a great job pushing the ball down the throat of the defense and then taking a tough shot. Talking about Tony Parker, Rajon Rondo, these guys done an outstanding job of practicing and perfecting the float.
And the good part of that, instead of trying to just thread the needle to Perkins, who had Bryant on his back, is even if he misses on that penetration, you've got size against guards, which gives you the chance to get the second shot. So sometimes it's a better play just to get it up there, get it on the rim. Even if you miss, you're going to have a chance at second shots.
Boy, it's a game of inches. You see how close Gasol's fingertips come to deflecting that, and it just doesn't get there. Pierce He wisely has the hand in front of him and rakes his arms across to draw the foul. Kobe Bryant does that as well as anybody. Pierce is pretty darn good at it as well. And that's 3 fouls on Artest.
You know, Mike, I'm looking at Rondo, and it's nothing like a small guy that runs. And as soon as I think about that, I think about Jeff Van Gundy in the Houston Marathon. We didn't give you enough credit for getting it done, representing this trio and finishing the course the right way.
That was a couple of weeks ago. You ran your first marathon.
I did, and my last. I crafted my retirement letter at about mile 18. And I was reading this book by this great book by Christopher McDougall, Born to Run, and he said you had to face the beast of exhaustion. Well, I faced the beast, and the beast kicked my butt.
Doesn't matter, you finished. Fisher misses.
And thank you for the music.
The Chariots of Fire soundtrack appropriately.
We're just laying it all out for you. Mission accomplished, my friend.
I stumbled across the finish line.
But you made it.
Yeah.
Garnett, nice feed to Rondo. And Bynum got there late. Pretty pass from Kevin Garnett.
Well, Kevin Garnett in the high post, even though his mobility may be not what it used to be, he can still really pass the ball.
Derek Fisher can still really shoot the ball. Knocks down that two-pointer. You know, games like this, Rondo, as good as he's played, there's some physical point guards who've been able to take advantage of him. Fisher's pretty physical, but it's been all Rondo here today as Garnett's shot rolls off the rim, tipped and taken by Bryant.
You know, Fisher's physical, but the way he beats you is when you fall asleep defensively. You have to pay attention to him and stay at home.
Artest misfires. Good rebound from Bynum. Using his height, can't finish. Artest had it, lost it, out of bounds. And it's going to stay Laker ball. Artest 3 points, doesn't have a rebound. Oh, that looked close, tough call. Bryant bumped by Ray Allen. Gasol across the lane, and he's fouled. Well, Ray Allen fouled the first time. They called him on the second one. And Gasol will shoot 2.
Nothing like having a big guy that can pass the basketball, sets the screen. Ray Allen does his job, delivers it to KG. Pass on point to Rondo in traffic.
And I'm not sure if you're Kobe Bryant there, you need to rotate to Kevin Garnett that deep. Yeah, that was a good step and a half outside of Garnett's normal range.
Gasol now in double figures. And the Lakers back within 4. Their largest lead was 13. Celtics' largest lead has been 10. Rondo, and offensive foul. Garnett, according to Derek Richardson, moved on. That's the 3rd foul now on Kevin Garnett. Garnett and Artest each with 3.
I'm going to say this. Kevin Garnett has gotten away with more illegal screens in his career than any player ever. I mean, this is not even close. He does that on every play, and it rarely, if ever, gets caught.
Gasol spinning, flips it up, won't go. Garnett comes and grabs the rebound. Garnett with a pretty decent spring in his step. You're watching everything. Offensive foul on Perkins, trying to get position, pushed off on Gasol. Perkins picks up his 3rd foul. Perkins not happy, although the way he plays on the court, we say this all the time, he always looks unhappy and he always looks mean. As you said earlier, Jeff, one of the more underrated players in the NBA. Artest left-handed. Nice move from Artest. And Doc Rivers wants a timeout as the 8-point lead has been cut to 2. 6 straight points now for the Lakers.
Well, you don't want to give up middle drives, particularly to their strong hand. And Ron Artest is a much better left-handed driver than right-handed driver. Good move by Artest. Poor defense by the Celtics.
Or played as hard as anyone. One of many Celtic jerseys up in the rafters.
Do you think any of the great Celtics now may retire to drive a cab like Dave Cowens did? I can see Garnett being a cab driver.
I don't think so. I don't think he needs to pick up some extra bucks.
Maybe in Malibu in the offseason, right? I can see Garnett driving a cab to Los Angeles International Airport.
Pierce gets it. Throws it off the leg of Artest. Artest, who is claiming that it's a plantar fasciitis, as that one in and out and in again. Phil Jackson was making fun of his sneakers. He's trying a sneaker deal with a company in China. He called them his cement shoes. I don't know if those are the same ones, but he looks like he's moving pretty well here today.
So he's made some moves that he hasn't been able to make all season long. You talk about aggressive low buys to the middle, came out looking to knock down shots. He makes them an even tougher team to defend when he's looking to score.
Rondo knocks it down as the shot clock expires. 17-10 for Rondo. Celtics back up by 2. He's been shooting that mid-range shot with a lot more confidence.
They're shooting 56% from two-point range this year and 20% from 3.
That 3 from Artest won't go. High elbows from Perkins. And it's Salvatore yelling at the players, keep going. Rondo inside. Ball caroms out to Garnett. Rondo flips it up, gets it back, puts it up and in again. Rondo doing it all. And you can never tell what kind of game he's having by his demeanor. He's got the same face on all the time.
Very poised, gets after it, competes every single night.
Kobe Bryant quiets the crowd momentarily.
How about Dr. Riz looking at Kendrick Perkins, says play the game of basketball. Forget about complaining to the referees. Keep your emotions intact and play.
Garnett to Rondo. Past the midway point of the third. That won't go, and Bynum high for the rebound. Gasol one-on-one with Garnett. Now Gasol to the basket, blocked by Garnett. Perkins the rebound. Pierce has another 3. Way off. Perkins gives him a new 24. Reward the big man for all his work on the boards. Perkins goes right at Gasol. Count it and a foul. They call it continuation. Tough move from Perkins.
And Ray Allen doing exactly that, rewarding the big guy for the offensive rebound, and then Perkins not settling for a fadeaway jump shot or a jump hook. Takes the body of Gasol all the way underneath, gets the basket.
Tough angle on that. I want to see him smile on the court just once. He deserves, no question deserves consideration for all NBA defense. I don't know if he'll get it, but he certainly deserves to be one of those guys on the first or second team. Bynum throws it down. No defense will stop that.
The catch, the keeping it up high, and the finish oversized in the paint. That's a highlight reel right there.
Bynum having a strong game. Pierce to Perkins, fumbled it momentarily, gets it back and draws another foul.
Well, this is a great pass by Kobe Bryant. Goes in the air, puts it up high. Look at the length of the arms, keeps it up, and finishes.
And Mike, you make a great point about Kendrick Perkins deserving to make the All-NBA defensive team. I think you really have to study the game to understand what he does on a nightly basis. He's not going to jump out as far as block shots and all the things that you fall in love with, but the details, to pay attention to the assignments. This guy has big-time IQ when you talk about the game of basketball.
Intelligence, and I think what's under-talked about with him is just how much better condition he is in now than even just 2 years ago during the championship year. He can play he can play harder and for longer minutes and stretches of time.
4.5 left, third quarter. 3-point Boston lead. Somehow they got all the way out to Fisher. Posts up a wild shot. And there's still time on the shot clock. Here comes Rondo. Rondo back to Garnett. Stolen by Artest. His third steal of the game. His pass a little behind Gasol, and he can't handle it. Celtics get the ball back on the 12th LA turnover. Right from the start, it's been a good, hard-fought, physical game. Before the tip, there were a couple of shoves. Nothing dirty. It's been all just good, clean, hard-fought basketball. Pierce gets inside, can't finish. Bynum the rebound, his 10th. 17 and 10 for Bynum. Kobe Bryant. Bynum, Garnett pulls the chair out from underneath him, and Ray Allen winds up with the ball. Smart defense from Garnett. Rondo to Garnett. Layup, good. Celtics by 5. And Phil Jackson wants timeout. 11th assist for Rajon Rondo, who's putting on a show here this afternoon in Boston.
Pushing the ball after the stop. Rondo delivering in transition, stops at the foul line. Find the ticket. KG finishing.
Sellout crowd here at the TD Garden, home of the Boston Celtics, who lead by 5. As we said earlier, they love their Celtics and they hate the Lakers. Although Kobe Bryant, he's got 11 points. It was on this date, 2007, when the Lakers are going through that nightmare 24-win season, where he had a 43-point game here, and they were chanting MVP for Kobe Bryant. There are a lot of fans very upset about it. That was the year before they got Garnett and Allen. As Artest draws the foul.
Mike, hate is such a strong word.
Oh, they hate the Lakers here. I agree with you. It's a strong word, but it applies here. Although there are a few Laker fans, there's one section here trying to get a "Let's Go Lakers" chant going. They were quickly drowned out.
In the old days, before fans were tolerated in other people's buildings, there would have been a brawl in the Boston Garden.
Artest hits the first. Here's the play as he drove to the basket.
That's goaltending right there. Perkins blocked it after it hit the board.
They didn't call it. Instead, just a foul. Artest hits a pair. 9 points for Artest.
What is it with the fake afro, like wigs today? Celtics? I mean, you want to sit behind that? You can't even see the game.
Pierce gets inside, misses. Gasol the rebound. Bryant doubled. The 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Fisher trying to draw a foul on Ray Allen. Rondo is now on Kobe Bryant. The help deflected, taken by Allen. Quickly ahead. Celtics have a 2-on-1. Pierce goes past Artest and lays it in.
And that's a good read defensively by the Celtics. Anytime Rondo is left on Kobe Bryant, the double team is coming quick from Kendrick Perkins. Guys are active. They pursued the basketball, created the turnover.
Celtics back up by 5. Allen pokes it away. Gasol with 5 on the shot clock. Fisher's going to have to launch one. That's a 3. And Pierce the rebound. Rondo gets inside and puts it in. Oh, pretty play from Rondo. He's got 21.
You don't often see him use his left hand. He uses his right hand on both sides. Good reverse layup with the opposite hand. to avoid Bynum's shot block.
Gasol looking to post up Pierce. Artest lines up the three. Too strong. And Perkins the rebound. Perkins down Rondo. I'll get it. Ray Allen. Too strong on the three. Wallace the rebound. Stolen by Bryant. Bryant throws it out of bounds. Or was it deflected? Yep. Boy, he's made a lot of pretty moves today.
Well, he does a good job. There's some traffic there. Bynum gets on him. Just a good use of getting the ball up quickly onto the board to avoid the shot block.
Jordan Farmar in for the Lakers. Eddie House has checked in for the Celtics. Lamar Odom. Odom's only played 9 minutes. As Bynum will sit down.
And going back to Rondo, I'm not sure anymore it's best to play off of him. I used to think that was the best way, but he gets such a running start at all these big guys. I'm not so sure you're not better off, as Odom misses, of pressuring up to him so that if he does blow by you initially, you have a chance to give normal help.
And I agree with you. I think initially he was confused by it and was a bit tentative. Now he's figured it out. So the best thing to do is play him up close and like you'd play a traditional point guard.
That was a great block by Odom as Perkins is ready to throw it down. Odom just off the bench. Artest tries to force it in. Not a smart play there as Wallace grabs it.
Bad play by Artest off the penetration. Double team came. You got to get rid of the basketball and trust your teammates.
And Pierce fouled on the entry pass. Farmar grabbed him. That shot won't count. Lakers not in the penalty. First foul in the last 2 minutes.
That's his first personal. First in the last 2 minutes.
Farmar picks up his first. Perkins sits down. Glenn Davis will check in. Pierce goes right at Artest, right at Gasol, and draws the foul. I'm going to call it on Gasol. Just a good, strong move by Paul Pierce. Gasol picks up number 3. Our NBA calendar, NBA TV on Monday. The Suns and Hornets from New Orleans, 8 Eastern time. ESPN Wednesday, the Celtics home against the Miami Heat, followed by the Suns and Nuggets from Denver. And then TNT Thursday, the Heat and Cavs from Cleveland, and San Antonio at Portland. How about Portland? Andre Miller, 52 points last night.
And I'm going to say this. No one in this league, coaching-wise, has done a better job than Nate McMillan. With all the injuries, Brandon Roy, Odom, Prisbilla.
Nate McMillan.
His own. You know, this guy, he is maximizing everybody. And that's hard to do. These guys should have fallen out of the playoff race, and they have hung in there exceptionally well.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Largest lead of the second half for Boston. Bryant pulls up, puts it in. 13 for Kobe Bryant.
See, and that delayed isolation right there after the ball has moved side to side is much harder to guard than one where you just come down and give the guy the ball.
Shot clock off.
Expect to see a high pick and roll with Eddie House and Pierce.
Artest stays right on Pierce. 3 won't go, and that will end the third quarter. Rajon Rondo having one of those games. 21 points, 11 assists, 1 turnover, couple of steals. The all-star point guard helping the Celtics battle back from an early 13-point deficit. And we'll head to the fourth quarter with a 73-66 lead.
What has Rajon Rondo figured out about dealing with sagging defenses?
Well, just attack. You know, you're still faster. So he's just doing a good job of attacking off the dribble and making plays.
Doc, the fourth period has been a bit of a challenge for you of late. What do you most want from your guys here?
Rebound, don't turn the ball over. I like our chances.
Thanks, Doc. Mike.
I like your chances when that man's your point guard, the way he's playing. First half, a nice balance. Third quarter really looked to score.
Well, I think he's just playing the game. He's not worried about distributing or shooting. Whatever play comes about, I think he's much more comfortable just playing the game. And you see less guys on the team as they used to there was a foul by Pierce against Shannon Brown. He used to get a lot of looks by the veteran players about where the ball should have gone. Now, they seem to have full trust in him just to make the right play.
Fourth foul on Pierce. Mark, where do you see the biggest jump from him?
Well, exactly what Coach talked about. I think he's now letting the game come to him, minimizing his mistakes and playing like a true veteran.
Bryant off 6 of 14 for Kobe Bryant. 13 points as the beat LA chant, and it is broken out here in the fourth. Eddie House fires a three. That's good. And they're up by 10, equaling their largest lead of the game.
You know, we're raving about Rondo, we're raving about the Celtics offense, but it's been their defense. They gave up 31st quarter points. Since that time, the Lakers have scored 36 points. That's getting it done defensively, now 38.
Yeah, that's still their number one strength, or it certainly was when they won the championship in 2008. The bench has been very quiet here this afternoon for the Lakers. Just 9 points off the bench. Pierce, that's a three, in and out. And Shannon Brown the rebound. Brown hasn't played a lot. Again, Phil Jackson's shortened up his rotation recently. Wallace with the steal. 15 turnovers for the Lakers. Eddie House, that's a two. The 15 turnovers, well over their mark. They only average 13 per game. And Farmar inadvertently tripped up by Glenn Davis as he listened to the recent huddle from Phil Jackson.
Little things, little turnovers, some simple stuff down here. All right? Get control of the game. Control the pace, control what we want to do.
Jackson, with one more win, will tie Pat Riley for most career wins as a Laker coach. As Odom gets inside and puts it in.
I'm going out on a limb here thinking he's going to get it done before the end of the year. Can't get two better coaches than that, though.
No, you can't. I like the fact they asked Phil Jackson if it was baseball and you had to go into the Hall of Fame with one hat, would it be the Lakers or the Bulls? He said, hey, it'd be Lakers on one side and Bulls on the other.
Most impressive number, of course, the 10 NBA championships. This is his 10th season as coach of the Lakers. Don't know yet if there's going to be an 11th season. He's going to take it like he's done recently and see how he feels health-wise, see how the season goes. But, you know, he was talking in that interview with Magic Johnson that played at halftime that he still loves watching how a team develops during the course of the year. He still loves watching how a young player finds confidence and becomes a complete player. He just enjoys that part of coaching basketball.
And he still enjoys always having the best perimeter player on the floor in Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Or I can't say Kobe Bryant's the best perimeter player because obviously LeBron James and Bryant are right there. But it's always great to know when you go out on the floor, almost every night you have the most talent. And he does a great job putting great talent together.
Farmar. Gasol couldn't handle a pass. It looked like it was last touched by the Celtics. They may have gotten a break on that one. Bennett Salvatore says no. Lakers did not agree with that one. Yeah, that's off Glenn Davis. 2.5 gone by here in the fourth. Ray Allen to the basket. Blocked by Odom. Second rejection for Odom. House. A three. Eddie House from downtown. Largest lead of the game for the Celtics. And a foul on Rasheed Wallace. Wallace and Gasol trying to fight for position. Wallace already has a technical foul. It was in a double technical situation earlier with Gasol. That's his third personal foul. Bryant. Shannon Brown drives in, one-handed shot. That's a tough shot.
And I thought Bryant got fouled when he was going up for the shot. They were fortunate to get the loose ball back and get a basket.
Celtics again, they could use a win against a quality team after losing to Orlando and Atlanta. Allen lost the ball. He just pass inside to Owen and an easy dunk. Makes it back to 7. Boston Celtics 2-5 in their last 7 games, 6-10 in their last 16. Something had to do with obviously Garnett being out for some of it. Davis against Odom. Throws it away.
And Doc Rivers says, hey, we got to rebound the basketball and we have to take care of the basketball. The last 2 possessions are a recipe for disaster for the Celtics.
There's Bryant's numbers. He does have 6 assists. But he has had to work hard to get good looks. Doesn't get a good look there. Excellent defense from Wallace. And an offensive foul called. Gasol picks up his 4th loose ball foul.
And Bryant upset, saying that there was a foul. Looked like good defense by Rasheed Wallace, staying down, active hands. A soft double by Eddie House. That's great defense by the Celtics, forcing Bryant into a tough one.
Ray Allen. That's a 2-pointer. Gasol with the rebound. 11 boards for Gasol.
I think if you're the Lakers or Bryant, you have to force the issue. You want to call, make a grown man move, and force the whistle as opposed to fading away.
Bryant drives, flips it up and in. Ryan yelling at Bennett Salvatore and 1. And he brings the Lakers within 5.
How many grown man moves do you think Bryant's made in his career? Because that certainly was one.
Eddie House goes over the backboard.
And you know what? I'm hot and cold on Eddie House's shot selection. He's made 2 quick release threes, but that was a bad one. And this one, grown man move. And 1, Bryant says.
And as Doris reported earlier, it's not just the finger. He's got an ankle and knee injury that's been limiting him the last couple of days. Heard it in Philadelphia. Gasol likes pass to Farmar. Reverse layup, banks it in. Pretty feed and a pretty shot. And it's a 3-point game. It seems here in the second half, Celtics have been so dominant, yet they're only up 81-78. Wallace for 3. That's good. Rasheed Wallace, his first points of the afternoon.
You have to close to him to make him a driver. That's not exactly what he wants to do. He wants to spot up.
Shannon Brown can't hit Garnett, who just checked back in, grabs the rebound. Again, we talked about the Celtics' deficiency rebounding, but they're +4 here today. Rondo to the basket, out to Allen. Pierce, they swing it again. Wallace will try another 3. Way off the mark. Rondo the rebound. And the ball did not hit the rim, yet the shot clock was reset. Phil Jackson gets up, but the officials caught it. Now they got to check to see where they should reset the shot clock. They're going to put it at 5.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
I thought it hit the rim.
I think it did.
I was surprised that would even be a question. Didn't even look like a hard call.
It just grazed it. And the shot clock should have been reset. Kudos to the scorer's table. Rondo flips it up. That one didn't hit the rim. Brown the rebound. Past the midway point here in the 4th. Lakers trying to win their 4th straight on this long road trip. Brown flips it up, won't go, but a foul. Rasheed Wallace picks up his 4th. Once again, he's not happy. He was happy a couple of minutes ago, though, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. Pick and roll them all. Them late to recover. You know the rules. Hand down, man down. Rasheed Wallace as good a shooting big man as there is.
And while we have a moment, we want to send along our heartfelt condolences to our dear friend and colleague, Dr. Jack Ramsey, the great Hall of Fame coach, as Jack's beautiful wife, Jean, passed away yesterday after a long illness. And just, Jack, we're thinking about you. And our prayers and thoughts are with you and your family. Jack Ramsey, who influenced so many coaches. And Doc Rivers has a word with Bennett Salvatore. Shannon Brown hits free throws. It's a 4-point game.
And Mike, in that picture where Doc Rivers was talking to Bennett Salvatore, another former Celtic coach was in the picture, John Carroll.
That's right. Ball thrown away. Lakers will get it back.
I love how the Celtics take care of their own.
As good as any organization at doing that. Bryant calling for the ball. Ray Allen on him. There's the double by Perkins. Bryant looking, finds Odom. Odom inside, won't go. Ball tipped. Last touch by Perkins, and it's Laker ball.
I like what Kobe Bryant is doing, understanding he's going to be doubled. He's patient in the double team, finding the guys. You don't want to force the issue. Just allow the defense to tell you where to make the play to.
Garnett now comes to double. Celtic defense has been just terrific on Kobe Bryant today. Bryant tied up, turns, short. Now 7 of 18 from the field.
I think offensively right now, Bryant is settling too much, fading away as opposed to getting towards the paint. That time, good defense by Allen, but Bryant settling.
Rondo, shot clock down to 6. Kicks it out to Ray Allen. Allen fakes the 3. Odom tips it and able to come down. 4.5 remaining. Still just a 4-point deficit for the Lakers.
Too much isolation. That's a bad possession.
Bynum gets it back. Brown on the follow, and it's a 2-point game.
That is a bad possession, but give Brown credit. He is attacking, not settling, and that time gets the offensive rebound in the putback.
But both big men of the Lakers stayed away from the ball. The triangle's predicated on having the post filled so you can play through the post inside-out basketball.
Pierce looks up at the shot clock. It's down to 5. Bryant's on him. Garnett has it. That baseline turnaround knocks it down.
That's a tough shot. That's good defense by the Lakers. That's a big-time play by Kevin Garnett.
Shooting numbers, 49% for the Celtics, 47% for the Lakers. There have been 2 Celtics around Kobe Bryant all afternoon. Bynum against Perkins. Perkins right on top of him, and Bynum still able to score. Can't defend it much better than that. Bynum now with 19 and 11. Pierce back out to Garnett. Straight on jumper. And Bryant comes flying in. Here's Shannon Brown. Under 3 to play. Crowd a little anxious. Artest pulls back. Won't go. Garnett with the board, his 9th.
It's not a good enough shot in this situation.
They've had a bunch of them here in the 4th, like you said, Jeff. With 2.5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. Rondo has Bynum on him. Perkins has Brown on him. They want to get it to Perkins. Here comes the double. They're leaving Rondo open, and he traveled. Little stutter step first.
And no sense in complaining if you're Rondo. Step into the shot, take it with confidence. You're too good not to take that shot.
Rondo's saying, hey, it was a ball fake. It's a turnover right now. Lakers down 2 with the ball.
The Lakers need you. The Celtics continue to play solid D.
Derek Fisher returns. Gasol still on the bench. Bryant shoots over Allen. Shot won't go. And Pierce the rebound.
Well, to combat the double teams, instead of putting it in the low post, they put Bryant at the elbow. It's much harder to double team at the elbow area.
Rondo bounce pass to Perkins there. Perkins is hammered. No free throws for Perkins.
Los Angeles fouls on number 37, Ron Artest. That's his fourth personal.
By putting him up in the elbow area, it eliminates the double team. Here he got faced up, squared up. That's a good jump shot for him. But I like Mark's idea, too, of just attacking the basket. No pull-ups. Go to the rim, try to earn your way to the free throw line.
Especially the way that they're defending him. It's a sweep move as far as getting into the paint and getting to the foul.
He's only taken 2 free throws today. Meanwhile, Perkins misses the first. Line drive on the second. It's a 3-point game.
Well, it's got to be a mindset, because when you play against a physical team, you know if you get into the paint, there's going to be a price to be paid.
Under 2 minutes to play. Odom guarded by Garnett. Bryant wants it. Here comes the double. Rondo shows. Bryant drives, goes to the basket, and draws the foul. Ray Allen saying, wait a minute. Bryant will finally get back to the free throw line.
But exactly what we talked about. This is the way he's being defended. Catch the basketball, and as a sweep move, forcing the contact, getting to the seams. They're coming quick. You're going to the line. Easy offense when you're patient and disciplined.
First free throws of the second half for Bryant.
And this is very interesting. The Lakers going down the stretch of the game with Pau Gasol not on the floor.
Bryant hits the first. Now, Phil Jackson likes to experiment with stuff. Maybe giving Artest a chance to finish there, how he does in a close game and on the road.
Well, I don't think it's Artest as much as Bynum. Really, Bynum is usually the odd man out. This is obviously a reward for how well Bynum has played here today.
And it's cut to 1. 87-86. First meeting of the season between the Lakers and the Celtics. And it's been back and forth. Celtics led by as many as 11 here in the 4th. Rondo, wide open jumper. Won't go. Rebound tipped and taken by Perkins. Big offensive board. And a timeout called by the Celtics. And we'll take a timeout. Boston clinging to a 1-point lead. It's their ball when we return. A great work, as always, by the crew here in Boston.
And I'm going to switch these pick and rolls with Artest.
Pierce kicks it out to Rondo. Rondo, Ray Allen. Allen, the runner, puts it up. Shot won't go, but a foul. And one of the best free throw shooters in the game will go to the line. Coming up next, ABC World News Tonight, or your local news, except on the West Coast.
You know, it's going to come a point where Rondo is going to have to step into those shots, because teams are not going to run to his body in situations like that. They're going to force him to make those shots. He's going to have the confidence in his ability to shoot.
Allen, big free throw there. How about him? 89% from the line, and he's only 7th in the NBA. Always amongst the leaders. Just 7 points for Allen, but 2 clutch free throws there, and it's a 3-point game. A minute remaining. Fisher. Bryant wants it. Allen on him, kicks it out to Artest. Shot clock at 7. Artest the drive, puts up the runner, flips it up and in. Difficult shot from Artest, and it's back to 1.
But again, a drive to the middle to his strong hand, which is his left. He's got to take that away.
Crowd on its feet. Celtics clinging to that 1-point lead. Pierce looking. Falls back. The whistle. Offensive foul call. Pierce, they said, pushed off. And that's 5 fouls on Pierce. The Lakers will get it back with 27.5 remaining.
No, to me, looking at the play live, it was no question Paul Pierce uses his left arm to push off Ron Artest.
That's a good call. So 5 on Pierce.
And one play, looking at the Lakers' last possession, it went pick and roll with Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant. Bryant looking for spot-up guys around the perimeter.
And Al Gasol back in with Bynum, Bryant, Artest, and Fisher. Ray Allen all over Bryant. Bryant on the drive. Kicks it into Bynum. Back out Bryant. Shot clock at 7. Bryant leads, falling away. Puts it in! And the Lakers take a 1-point lead with 7.3 remaining. What a clutch shot once again from Kobe Bryant. Ray Allen all over him and made him take a difficult shot.
It's impossible to play better defense than Ray Allen just played against Kobe Bryant. But give me good offense over good defense any day of the week.
Celtics ball when we come back. Kobe Bryant once again in the clutch gives the Lakers their first lead of the second half as they've come back from 11 down here in the fourth quarter.
Mike, all you can say is wow, wow, whoopsie. That is as good as it gets right there. I mean, this is terrific defense. There's nothing you can do about that except to double team, and I don't think they would have been any better served double teaming that possession because it's hard to double team at the top of the floor.
Lakers do not have a foul to give. Garnett, Wallace, Allen, Eddie House, and Paul Pierce in the game. In the hands of Pierce, Artest on him. Allen sets the screen. Pierce kicks it out to Allen. Allen with a jumper, no good. And Fisher the rebound, and the Lakers win the game. A terrific fourth quarter comeback as the Los Angeles Lakers get the road win. And another heartbreaking defeat for the Celtics. Lost a tough one a couple of games ago against Orlando, and a great opportunity here.
It's outstanding on both ends. Paul Pierce makes the play as Ray Allen floats. Give Lamar Odom a lot of credit. Didn't lay on the body of KG. Contested the jump shot of Ray Allen as opposed to watching.
A huge win for the LA Lakers. Kobe Bryant's clutch shot gives them the lead. The defense holds them off, and they win in Boston. We'll be right back.